Isang magandang araw sa inyong lahat mga kaibigan. So, ito na naman po tayo, kababalik lang ulit sa work. At habang nag-iintay ng kwarto, ay gusto ko sanang i-share muna sa inyo yung aking mga tips and advice para paano ba makapasa sa interview and possibly magkaroon ng trabaho. So kasi kapag mag-a-apply kayo ng trabaho, lahat dumadaan sa interview, especially dito sa overseas. So itong aking i-share sa inyo ay interview for local and abroad. So nais ko lang i-share sa inyo yung mga experience ko, ng mga questions na akin na-encounter, para at least ay mapaghandaan nyo kung dumating yung time na kayong magpapa-interview. At remember, yung interview sa overseas ay English. So, kung gusto nyo mag-abroad, kailangan nyo ring improve yung English. So, sa interview, mostly, ang question ay naka-base din sa inyong resume. Possibly 60% ng questions doon ay kung ano yung nakalagay sa resume nyo. Ngayon, kinakailangan yung resume nyo ay alam nyo yung inyong isasagot. Para din lang yung defense sa thesis, dapat ay lahat ng questions na pwedeng ibato sa inyo, na nakalagay doon sa resume nyo, ay masasagot nyo. At may pinasan ako dati na information about how to make a resume. So makikita nyo po yan sa aking account, sa aking YouTube channel. At nandun yung mismong resume ko, inilagay ko doon para magiging basis nyo. Although yung mga private details ay aking ini-hide. Okay. So ano ba yung unang questions na itatanong sa inyo? So, normally, they're gonna say good morning or good afternoon. Then, after that, they're going to ask you about your previous job. Okay? When they ask you about your previous job, they're going to ask you, can you tell me about your last job? So, pagka itinanong sa inyo yon, mag-uumpisa na kayong mag-explain. Only brief explanation tungkol sa inyong dating trabaho. Halimbawa sa akin, ang field ko ay sa welding and fabrication. O kung tawagan dito ay boiler making. So, i-share ko yung aking experience about my shutdown, about my construction job, tsaka about my workshop job. So, yun yung kinakailangan ay naka-arrange na yon. Meron kayong practice bago kayo magpa-interview. Lista nyo yung mga... So, ang aking ibibigay talaga sa inyo yung mga possible questions. So, yung mga questions na yan, yun yung inyong magiging basis para kayo makapaghanda sa interview. Okay? Then, they're gonna ask you, have you worked with this company before? So, kapag hindi, sabihin nyo ay no, but possibly after this interview, I'm going to start with your company. So, yun. Kailangan meron din kayong a bit of sense of humor. Para maging at ease kayo sa interview. Tapos, tatanungin kayo kung have you previously been worked in a fly in fly out job. Yun po yung fly in fly out job, yun po yung trabaho ko dito, na most of the time 3 weeks sa site and 1 week sa bahay. Yun. Kung wala pa kayong experience at kayo ay gusto mag-apply sa construction job, I suggest na umpisa muna kayo sa shutdown job. Kasi yung shutdown ay normally 1 week, tapos uuwi na sa bahay. Sometimes 4 days, tapos uwi na. Yun, at least makakaipon kayo ng inductions and site experience. Okay? Kasi most of the time kapag construction job ang inyong applyan ay hahanap sila na experience. So kung wala kayong experience, mahirapan kayong makapasok. Ano? Tapos pagkatapos noon, itatanong sa inyo ay do you have any ticket? So yung ticket is yung qualifications na meron kayo. Ang tawag dito sa Australia, tickets. Ano? Yung mga ticket na yon, yung mga qualifications na yon, kagaya halimbawa ng driver's license, o kaya ay working at heights training, confined space training, atmospheric training, tapos EWP tickets, o kaya ay forklift, o kaya ay yung high risk license. Tapos kung kayo mag-apply ng construction, dapat meron din kayong white card. And ano pa yung mga tickets na yun? Pinaka-basic na kasi kung mag-apply kayo ng construction, white card, yung confined space, atmospheric testing, working at heights, EWP. Mas mabuti kung meron kayong forklift o kaya ay truck driver's license. Pero kung wala naman ay okay lang. Ano? So dapat masasagot nyo o dapat meron kayo nun para makapasa kayo. Kung wala kayong tickets, hindi rin nila kayo i-absorb. So kasama din po pala yung dapat meron kayong Australian Recognition Trade Certificate. So, pwede po yung kuhanin sa atin pagka kayo ay habang nag-a-apply kayo sa agency, tanong nyo lang yun, Australian Trade Recognition Certificate, or pwede nyo i-assess dito sa Australia. O kaya kung wala namang ganon, ay pwedeng may mga training centers dito na nagbibigay ng Certificate 3. Kasi yung Certificate 3, that is a basic requirements para makapasok sa construction. At minimum na permanent resident or Australian citizen. Kapag hindi permanent, ay hindi makakapasok sa construction. Now, then, they going to ask you how long you've been working on your field. Halimbawa, gano'n daw kayo katagal sa trabaho nyo. Dapat meron kayo pasagot doon, kagaya na sa akin. I've been working as a boiler maker welder for 19 years of experience. Working in locally and abroad. Ano? Tapos, sasabihin nyo doon ay kayo ay good sa inyong trabaho at reliable ang inyong mga ginagawa. Kailangan ay convincing yung inyong objectives sa inyong pagsagot. Ano? Kung gusto nyong makita yung mga objectives at saka yung aking vision dun sa aking resume, tingnan nyo na lang dun sa aking ina-upload. Tapos, yan, tatanong nga sa inyo kung have you previously been working in a shutdown job. Okay. Tapos, which company? So, i-explain nyo yun. Kung anong company yun. How long? I-explain nyo rin yun. Tapos, tatanong kayo kung kayo nakapagtrabaho na sa construction site. Which company? How long? Ano yung ginagawa nyo doon? Laging kasama doon ano yung inyong ginagawa. Gaya sa aking shutdown job, ako ay nag-modify ng mga booms ng crane. So, just simply say na in my job in shutdown, let's say I used to modify boom cranes or kaya ay structural modifications or assembling of support for the chute. Things like that. Ano? Tapos, pagkatapos niyan, ang tatanong naman sa inyo ay kung ikaw ay welder ay how long you've been working as a welder. Tapos, they're going to ask you about, sometimes they're going to ask you about polarity. What is polarity? Kasi meron dalawang polarity sa welding. Isang positive o yung reverse, tsaka yung negative, yung straight polarity. Ano? Yun, dapat alam nyo rin yun. Tapos, kapag stick, meron yung reverse polarity, tawag dyan ay positive electrode. Tapos yung kapag magtitig, ayan ay straight polarity, negative electrode. Tapos, they're going to ask you about scaffolding. Pag tinanong kayo about scuff tag, if the scuff tag is in yellow, are you allowed to use that one? So, kung hindi ka aware doon, ay hindi ka makapasa. Kasi kapag yellow, pwede mong gamitin, pero ikaw ay 100% hook up. Pag yan ay naka-green, you can access that one. Pero titingnan nyo rin yung validity. Kasi kung minsan, one week lang yung scaffold, kinakailangan i-revalidate. Kinakailangan nakapirma yung inspector. At kapag yan ay naka-red, hindi pwedeng gamitin. So, kapag may mali kayong sagot, ay hindi kayo makapasa. Kasi yan ay tawag namin sa site ay safety absolute. Ano? So, you always need to check the scaffolding tag. Okay? Then, they're going to ask you, sometimes about welding, they're going to ask you about what is 4G position. So, 4G position is overhead position. Ano? Yun yung dalawang plate na may bevel. Kapag sinabi naman 3G, vertical position. No. Pag sinabing 2G, horizontal position. So, paghahandaan nyo din yun. Ano? Ngayon, pagkatapos nung questions about your trade, lilipat naman yan sa questions about safety. Okay? So, magbibigay siya ng scenario about safety. Ang questions dyan ay questions dyan is, does it happen to you having a disagreement with your supervisor? Give me a scenario that you have an argument with your supervisor and what is the problem and how you respond to that situations. So, yan. Kailangan may explain kayo dyan. So, mostly, ang inyong question, ang inyong answer dyan ay based from your experience. Ano? So, yung aking sinagot dyan before ay related about scaffolding as well. Because sometimes, especially on site, the scaffolding is not ready and during the rush hour o pressure ng ginagawa ng trabaho, ay sometimes you need to, supervisor is going to push you on something. But if you're not aware, it may ends up having accident or tinatawag natin na safety absolute. So, dapat alam nyo sumagot. Kasi sa experience, that I have an argument with supervisor. So, pinapa-welding niya ako dun sa isang joint, pero yung scaf tag is not validated. So, if I just go through with that one without signing pairs with the proper authority, I might get a safety absolute. So, safety absolute is offense on site at yan ay instant dismissal. Okay, so in-explain ko sa kanya that is what happened. Then later on, he realized that, oh yeah, you're right. Then we figure out something and we fix the problem. Yun. So kapag sasagot kayo, kailangan kahit hindi magandang grammar ng inyong pagkapaliwanag, at least inaintindihan niya yung sinasabi. Meron kang point. Kasi English is our second language, and they understand that situation. Ano? So, maintindihan ka naman nila. Okay? Meron pa din yung scenario na are you happy to assist with other duties outside of your job role when required? Yun, matanong na ganyan. Are you happy to assist with other duties outside your job role when required? Yan, ang sasabihin mo, siyempre, you're happy to assist. Yes? Yeah. So, you can say, yeah, yes, you're happy to assist. You know, because you're part of the team and you're always ready whenever everyone is asking for help. Okay? Then, how do you think you perform in a team-based environment? How do you see yourself working in a team? Yan, kailangan masagot nyo yan. How do you think you perform in a team-based environment? And how do you see yourself working in a team? So, kailangan kayo ay lahat mapapakasamahan nyo. At kinakailangan yung questions na yan ay masasagot nyo. Okay? Ang isa pang questions nyo ay, are you happy or are you comfortable working with other group on site? Ang tawag namin dyan ay CMOPs, Simultaneous Operation. Kasi sa site ay mostly 3 groups or 2 groups working side by side. So, are you happy to work in that environment? So, kailangan ang sagot mo doon ay fixed na mapuprove mo sa kanila na you can do that kind of job na matatapos nyo ang trabaho na safe, na walang aksidente. Halimbawa, let's say for example, you're going to do some welding on the same operation. So what you're gonna do? So I can just simply say, for me to be able to do that, I need to cover or encapsulate the area so that I can perform my welding job without hurting someone. So I need to barricade the area that I've been working, install welding screen, and make sure that I have a positive communication with the other groups. Things like that. Ano? Okay, ang iba pang questions dyan ay, can you tell me a time that your colleague is having trouble with a particular task? And how you've been able to go to that situations? Ano, kung nahihirapan daw yung workmates, paano ka nagre-respond sa situation na yun? So, normally, dapat sabihin mo doon, if they are asking for help, if you see that they are struggling with something, just offer yourself to them that if they need help, but make sure you always ask them if they need help so that you can get engaged. So if they said, yes, I need help, okay, you can just engage in there. Okay? Because sometimes some workers are very rude, and if you offer yourself for help, they say, no. Things like that. So don't just push yourself in there. Okay? Tapos, may mga questions din dyan na, let's say, if your workmates is doing something unsafe, how are you going to respond to that one? Now, let's say, for example, your mate is grinding without face shield or grinding without double eye protection. What are you going to do? So normally, you're going to remind your mates to use goggles or face shield. And if they said, okay, thank you, mate. Thank you for your help, or thank you for reminding me. So that's good. But if the situation is, if they're getting rude, normally we're gonna say, so if they are rude to me, my next step is to tell the supervisors and let the supervisor talk to him. At least you're doing your part to remind them that what they're doing is unsafe. Ano? Then meron pa diyang questions na, have you been part of creating JHA? So ano ba yung JHA? So JHA is Job Hazard Analysis. So, kinakailangan ay alam nyo rin kung paano gumawa ng GHA. Sa site, lahat ng site na pupuntahan nyo dito, meron GHA. Sa GHA, nilalagay din yung job step, tapos yung, yung next is possible hazards, tapos ano yung control sa hazard na yon. Tapos, lalagyan nyo rin ang level of risk matrix. Kung yung bang hazard na nakita nyo ay nung may lagay nyo control ay bumaba ang possibility sa accident. So yun. Kinakailangan sa job hazard analysis ay meron din kayong basic knowledge on how to create GHA. Otherwise, medyo mahirapan kapag dumating sa site. So yun. Tapos they're going to ask you as well about take 5. What is take 5? So yung take 5 ay yung 5 minutes na kailangan i-assess nyo yung area kung mayroong possible hazard, possible na scenario na pwede maging cause ng accident. So hahanapin nyo rin yun. Yun yung take 5. So yun yung kung tawagin nila ay safety tools. Take 5, GHA, or yung iba naman ay mga permits. Let's say, mag-welding, hahanapan kanila ng hot work permits. Pagiging mag-AWP, hahanapan kanila ng working at heights permit. Kapag magtatrabaho sa confined space, hahanapan niya ng confined space permit. Excavation permit. So, lahat yan ay involved. Kasama yan sa interview. Dapat alam nyo kung paano sugutin. Tapos, kung may mga questions pa dyan, halimbawa sa mga welding, na give me some examples of hot works na pwede mong gawin and what is your control. So, let's say hot works is welding and the control is fire extinguisher, welding screen, fire watch, fire blanket. That's the control. Tapos kapag tinanong sa inyo ay kapag ikaw ay magwo-work sa site na hindi mo sigurado kung anong gagawin mo, what is your first action? What is your first step? If you're not sure on the task that you're doing, I always need to ask a question, especially first the supervisor or the person in charge on that job. So always, if you're not sure to what you're doing, always ask your supervisor. Okay? So that walang magiging problema. Otherwise, if you just decided by yourself at nagkaroon ng problema, ikaw yung magiging cause. Hindi ka makakakuha ng compensation if anything happen. Okay? So if you saw your coworker doing unsafe acts, how can you handle? What you gonna do? Okay, so pagkatapos ng mga questions na yon, so kaya na binanggit ko kanina, questions about your trade, then questions about safety. Pagkatapos noon, kapag siya'y happy, magpuproceed na yun sa letter of offer. Ito yung magiging accommodations nyo. Sasabihin na sa iyo yung roster nyo kung 3-in-1 or 4-in-1 or 2-in-2. Tapos sasabihin na sa inyo yung rate, magkano magiging sahod nyo per hour. Tapos PPE, uniform. Or kung ikaw welding, sasabihin na sa iyo yung schedule ng iyong welding test. Then, pagkatapos ng welding test, trabaho na. So, sa biyaya ng Panginoon, lahat naman ng aking napag-applyan ay lahat ng na-interview ay nakakapasa naman. Kasi, for my 19 years of experience, ay yung mga questions ay almost similar. Hindi na halos nagbabago. Kaya, isinisip ko sa inyo, para doon sa mga baguhan na gustong magtrabaho sa site ay makatulong sa inyo. Kasi kapag kayo nasanay sa workshop, hindi pa kayo nakaka-experience ng magtrabaho sa site, ay medyo alanganin, di ba? Parang mahirap sumugal. Pero kapag na-experience nyo yung trabaho sa site, kukumpare nyo sa trabaho sa workshop, napakalaking luag. At in terms of sahod, ay napakalaking laki ng sahod sa site kumpara sa workshop. Kaya I have suggest sa mga gusto mag-construction, ay mag-construction na kayo. At pagka may questions kayo, pwede nyo akong kontakin sa messenger. Okay? So itong job interview nito ay related din sa application for local job. So iisa ang tanong niyan. Lahat yan yung pinaka-basic procedure. O umpisa sa inyong profession, tapos safety. Lagi yung magkaugma. Profession and safety. As long na meron kayong proper tickets, inductions, kompleto kayo sa inyong mga qualifications, at saka kayo ay confident na makakapasa sa testing, walang magiging problema. Ika nga everything is under control. Okay? Sana ay makatulong sa inyo yung mga tips na yan. At pagka doon naman sa mga hindi ko nabanggit na mga possible questions, alam ko naman na may mga nakakapuno nito ng mga eksperyensado na rin, pwede kayo mag-share ng comments. Mag-comments lang kayo o i-add nyo yung mga possible questions pa na encounter nyo sa mga reply box para makita ng iba. Para sila man ay makapaghanda din. Sa kahit panong paraan ay makakatulong tayo sa kanila. Okay? Salamat po. So please continue to watch my video. Kasi marami akong video dyan. Mag-comment din kayo, mag-subscribe, like, and share para makita ng iba. So, hindi lang po ito yung videos ko. May mga videos po ako dun sa welding, meron akong videos sa Bible study, meron din akong videos dun sa mga outdoor activities na pinupuntahan namin dito sa Australia. Okay? Salamat po and God bless us all. Bye-bye.